Life-changing moments seem minor in pictures. Maybe you think it's a corny line. It's the album name of C418, one of his albums back in like 2011, 2010, one of those times when he was still coming fresh off of Minecraft. And maybe it is corny, but honestly, I think there's a lot of truth in this statement. And what I'm going to talk about today, it really isn't a life-changing moment, but it is a moment that I will remember. And I think the point that I wanted to talk about today is just that even these significant moments, they might not be as significant as life-changing, but these significant moments, these significant markers and points in your life where things happen, they happen just like that. One moment it's before, and then the next moment it's after, and the moment has passed. And these significant moments, it's so hard to just characterize them as just a single moment in time, where suddenly where before you're thinking you're a different person, and then the moment happens, and now you're a new person. So what event am I talking about? Recently, I started working at a company, and the day I started working, 3 other people also started at the same time as me. So we were all basically, I guess you could say, of the same cohort, of the same work cohort, right? We all started work at the same time, so we became friends from that. One of these coworkers, she sat next to me because we were on the same team, and we were working pretty closely together usually, I guess. Since we were on the same team, we were doing similar things. So fast forward now a month and a half. We haven't even reached 2 months of working at this company, and she's gone just like that. Now, it isn't as dramatic as that, but I remember what happened. I was sitting at my desk, and she was sitting at her desk, which is right next to mine. And I see on Slack, which is the messaging tool our company uses, think of it as a Discord or a Messenger, but with more channels. In one of the channels that we're both in, she tells everyone along the lines of, "Hello, everybody. This is going to be my last week at this company, and I'll be leaving in 1 or 2 days." And I remember sitting there, I'm sitting right next to her, reading that, and turning to her and asking, "Are you trolling?" Because I thought, there's no way this is happening. Just like that, she's gone. Turns out, just like that, she is gone. She wasn't trolling, and she had personal circumstances that meant she had to leave. She had to go home, out of the country, and she had to quit this job. A job that she hadn't even held for 2 months yet. And when this happened, I don't know, I guess it shook me a little bit because I never really thought about it much, but all these events that happen, things where people's lives can be completely uprooted, it happens just like that. You learn about it, and suddenly your life is all different. Everything changes in literally 1 second. I learned that she was gone, and I guess maybe it was a little more drawn out, like she took 1 or 2 days to leave. But just like that, a friend that I thought I had for the foreseeable future, she's just gone. Just like that. And I want to connect this to something else that happened recently. I'm sure you all know of like the Myers-Briggs test, right? And it's a personality test if you're not aware. It's basically a giant survey where they ask you a bunch of questions and you're supposed to give answers on a scale of strongly agree to strongly disagree. And there's like options in between, right? And based on your answers to these questions, they'll assign you personality traits. They'll kind of determine that you're more like this type of person than this type of person based on how you answered all these questions. And one of the little, I guess, personality markers, one of the two things you could be, is turbulent or assertive in this test. So turbulent are people that are more affected by the things that happen around them. And assertive people are the people that are more tanky, the people that even if lots of things may be stressful, traumatic, and these could be in good or bad ways, maybe just extremely exciting, they are not as affected by these wild changes in circumstances. So growing up, I don't even know if growing up, just me as a person right now, when I took that test recently, I always thought of myself as an assertive person. I always thought that I wasn't actually that affected by changing circumstances. I thought I was a very adaptable person, right? That even if circumstances changed, if things were different, I could adapt to it and still live my life. And to a large part, I still agree. But just because I believe that I am adaptable, it doesn't actually mean that I am not affected by these changes. And this was apparent when she was gone, just like that. I don't know how affected I really am, but I realized that maybe I am more affected than I thought I was. It was jarring the first time she wasn't here. I just looked at my desk because she usually comes into work earlier than me. So I came in that day after she left and she wasn't there. And it's just like, oh. And especially that day when she first announced that she was leaving, posted it in the channel, and I learned of this news. I spent a few minutes later that day just thinking basically what I'm talking about now. These moments, these significant moments where circumstances just completely change and your life is going in one direction and now it's just slowly merged onto a different path that is just slightly off on a different angle from where you were going. It all happens just like that, in a second, and it's different. And I never realized how jarring that could be for me, how much it could affect me. But I guess I've learned that about me now, that I think I still am adaptable. I think that I can still roll with the punches, whatever life gives me. But even if I can do that, I still do get affected by these changes. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It means I care about the people that leave my life. I care about the people that I develop meaningful relationships with. And I care about the things that actually have value in my everyday being. And I'm glad for that. Even if things change just like that, I'm glad for what I had.